see a smile begin to spread across her face.
Doing that crazy,
I
but catch
opened my
these crazy
door and
hands,
full-on
you know?
sprinted
You
into
know,
the
like,
woods,
just as
not
simple
caring
as
how
that.
much noise I made.
Hey guys, I'm Daquan, and today I'll be reacting to some Llama Arts animated horror stories. So I picked 3 random ones that I see, and yeah, let's just go ahead and begin. These are pretty random, you know, like none of them connected. And yeah, I used to love Llama Arts. I haven't watched a video of theirs in years. I think I started getting into them, I think it was COVID, and I just stopped for some reason. But yeah, let's just go ahead react to some of these. And some of them I remember, and some of them I don't. Well, a lot I don't. So yeah, let's just begin. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and let's begin with this video. True Pizza Delivery Horror Stories 3. Okay, so there's 2 other parts. Okay.
I was out doing a delivery one late night. It was probably the longest drive I have ever taken for a pizza delivery.
I'll watch this one. I forgot how it ended, but I remember this one. I remember he acted slow at one point. So yeah, let's just begin.
From the pizza place I worked at, it was a 20-minute drive, which isn't too crazy out where I live. Plus, they ordered 4 large pies, so I figured it was a party and I would get a much bigger tip.
I never caught pizza pie.
Navigating the dirt roads at night was always annoying, though. I pulled up to the given address.
Did I caught ugly? Oh my goodness.
It was some old, sketchy-looking building, literally in the middle of a forest clearing. There were no cars parked anywhere, or any lights on. I put my car in park and called my boss. I asked him to reread the address at least 3 times to make sure I typed it in right, but that checked out. I could tell he was in a really bitchy mood, and he told me to at least knock on the door and check it out.
I'm like, bitch.
He would normally get mad if we took back 1 pie, but I was afraid of what he would do if I brought back 4.
I mean, you could always eat them.
I was insanely unnerved, but got out anyway and forced myself to the front door of the building.
I'm sorry, I'll tell a story. I'll be like,
so
the helper didn't answer the door.
Really hard.
You know, like, I want you, you know, like, I don't know what you want me to do.
I heard nothing.
I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Hear anything. I was extremely disappointed. Not because nobody answered the door, but because I was realizing that it was all a waste of time and gas.
Yeah.
I knocked one more time out of
desperation. Is that your car, or is that the company car? Hopefully it's the company car. I'm gonna hope.
Then began to hear some kind of rustling noises from inside of the building. I knocked again and yelled that I was the pizza guy. There was silence now. I felt a bit more uncomfortable now than before. But before I could turn around, I noticed something at the window. There was someone looking through the window. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. All I noticed were their eyes. Their eyes were open wider than I knew possible, staring intently at me.
I'll be like, hi, hello.
I was disturbed enough by
have your pizza here.
The pizzas and ran back to my car. The shitty thing wouldn't start until turning the key for the 3rd time. I drove off the grass and back onto the dirt road, but I felt the car rocking about, shaking and bumping.
Does the car break down?
Something wasn't right. I didn't make it far from the building before I started hearing a sharp scraping sound coming from outside.
Okay,
there was so much resistance that I couldn't even drive.
I forgot how this ended. I'm scared, actually.
Stop. I got out of the car to check what the hell was wrong. A chill ran up my spine as I began to feel like my heart was constantly skipping beats.
Tires slashed?
My tires had been slashed and had completely fallen off the rim. Not just the front, though. All 4 tires were slashed. I realized.
Once you hear that,
did this when
especially if it's quiet out there, once you hear that, the air like coming,
instead of running, I got back in the car.
Because slashing tires is not a quiet thing, really. If you poke a hole or 2, sure.
I could practically see it from
you
where I was.
Slash it when you hear that.
Trees blocking the view.
Because he wasn't that far from his car.
I dialed 911 and explained everything to the operator. She told me the cops would be over as soon as possible and that I need to stay hidden. I asked her if it was advisable to stay in the car or run, and she told me it would be best to stay in the car with the door locked. She asked me to stay on the line with her until the cops arrived.
I don't know what
My whole
I think I
body
will
was
stay in the
shaking.
car.
In all directions,
At least
there
I
was
can stick it
nothing
behind
but
you.
dark, seemingly endless forest. I knew it would take forever for the cops to get there. I was not comfortable with sitting in that car so close to whoever did this. The next part, though, is what utterly destroyed me. It still shakes me to this day, and I hope nobody ever has to experience this kind of fear.
Don't tell me this bitch in the car. Don't tell me this.
As I was scanning all the windows, making sure nobody was outside, I looked in the rearview mirror, and there was the same person. The same person I saw at that window.
So I'll get that car and fuck
Eyes
them up.
open
I'm
wider
sorry. I
than
think
ever.
I would.
I could see now that it was a woman.
Oh, well,
And
I
could
don't give a
ever so
fuck.
slightly see a smile begin to spread across her face.
You're not crazy,
I
but catch
opened my
these
door
crazy
and fell
hands,
and
you know?
sprinted
You
into
know,
the
like,
woods,
it's as
not
simple
caring
as
how
that.
much noise I made. I ran until I was out of breath, which didn't take long, and I hid behind a giant log on the ground. I tried to cover my loud breathing with my hand as I waited and waited for what felt like hours until I finally heard sirens in the distance. I gathered up all the stamina I had left to run all the way back in the direction of the dirt road. Eventually, the glowing red and blue lights came into view, and I had never felt better in my life. They were parked in front of my car, investigating with flashlights. I came out yelling at them like a lunatic to help me. I fell to the floor and started to gag, almost throwing up from running so much. They picked me up and began to question me, to which I explained everything to the best of my ability. One of the two cars drove over to the building, and the two officers began to search the building. They came back with nothing except for a couple of spiky objects. These objects were exactly the same as the ones used to slash my tires. The cops guessed that it was some kind of sick, demented couple, being that I saw the woman, but unfortunately they were never found, and that still kills me to this day. I obviously quit my job right after that and started working at a local grocery store. I know that I'll never forget seeing that woman at the back of my car.
Oh, I will pause it right there. My goodness. So yeah, I think if I was in that like exact like situation, I think I would have fucked them up. You're not gonna slash my tires. Low key, if you think about it, trying to get me. You know, like no, I'm gonna fuck you up. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. You know that phrase I said. The like you wanna act crazy, well catch these crazy hands. I never heard that before. I'm not sure that's an actual phrase that people say, but yeah, I kind of ate that. Yeah, you know, I did. I ate that. All right, this one is a bus stop horror story, which scares me because I
This
take the
happened
bus
when I was
sometimes.
17 years old.
I'm scared.
I would go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and ride the bus home. It was a Sunday and I had just missed my bus, so I had to wait longer for another one.
Oh, I hate that
I
fella.
would
My
have called
goodness.
my parents, but they were out for the evening, and taxis charged more, so I decided to sit and wait in the bus shelter. It was a cold night and snow had just started peppering the ground.
I'm sorry. I'll
My
pay that
bus was
extra
taking
fee
longer
for
than usual,
a
so I
lift
got
or
my
whatever.
phone out and listened to some music.
Because especially if it's snowing and it's cold. Oh, for starters, I'm sorry. I think that there should be a law. Every bus stop should have this thing. This sort of like I actually don't know what you call it. This sort of like cover thing. Each bus stop should have that. And if I'm being honest, each bus stop should have also like a sort of like button you press. But actually, I don't know because it might be very like dirty. Because I doubt people actually going to clean it up. Well, clean up the button. You know how many fingers press that button. I don't know. Maybe like it could be like wipes right there. Some I don't know. Or use your elbow or something. I don't know. like, so that way the sign of the bus stop lights up, so that way you know someone's there once to get picked up. I don't know, 'cause there's been times where a bus will just keep going. They would think I'm not standing at the bus stop, and they would think I'm like trying to cross the street, and I would be like, the fuck, you know, like, it's fine because I'm suing one day, but it is fine. I know the bus route, so it's fine. And I think I texted, you know, like whenever it happens, I usually like text someone that happened, so I know what days, you know, it happened. So someone getting sued, okay, one day. But what I was saying? Oh, about the cover. Yeah, each bus stop should have a cover. Unless you got a place where it never snows, never rains, and it's always warm, then okay, it's fine not to have one, I guess. But yeah, I'm sorry. Like that's what, like that what needs to happen. And also, security guards. Each bus and each train cart also should have security. I'm sorry. Why not? You know, like they don't have to have weapons. They can have a taser. They can have mace. They can have a stick. You know, something. You know. But yeah, yeah. I feel very connected to this one already because I take the bus often. Not recently, not too often, but often. Okay, but yeah.
Almost an hour had passed. It was freezing and I hadn't seen anyone at all. That was until I noticed something out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, big ass nose, my goodness.
It was a creepy guy dressed in thick layers of clothing, walking slowly towards me. I knew staring at him would draw more attention, so I just focused on my phone. He sat down at the other end of the shelter and just stared at me. There was something off about him. He seemed like he was either drunk or on drugs. He then asked,
"When is the bus due?"
I took out my earphones and said,
"Oh, do? Like, do you
it's delayed because of the snow."
He stared at me for a while,
which
then
they
started
should speed up if
mumbling to
it's snow.
himself.
The
He
fuck?
was really starting to creep me out, so I
It should be the
pretended to
opposite.
be on my phone. After a couple of minutes, I took another look. He'd moved closer to me. I looked away for a second, then
I'm like,
heard the
"Sir."
sound of him sliding even closer. I turned to him and said,
"You okay there?"
He stared at me with glossy eyes, lifted his arm and leaned towards me.
I'll just get up, yeah.
Immediately, I grabbed my bag and ran as he fell to the ground. I ran down the road, trying my hardest not to look back. I kept going until I got to the next bus stop. I turned around to check to see if he was there. He was gone, so I went to sit down.
Oh, I hope he don't get on the
Feeling
bus
relieved,
and then
I
the
rested my
man
head
get on the bus.
back of the glass
No.
and waited for the bus.
That's it?
I jolted and turned around to see the same guy staring at me through the glass.
What the hell is wrong with you?
You going to
Then he
sleep
started
in
walking
public?
around the shelter
I'm sorry,
towards
no.
me.
I'm warning you, stay back.
I yelled in
Fuck 'em up.
panic as I was backing up. I wanted to run, but I left my bag in the shelter
I'm like,
and I couldn't leave
"What's
without
up?
it.
What's up?
Suddenly, the man leaped at me and I quickly moved out of the way. He fell to the ground face first. I froze in shock,
Kick him.
then noticed the blood coming from his face.
Oh, well, probably
I tried
not now,
to get a response
but
out of him, but nothing worked. I called the police and paramedics and they arrived shortly after. I told them what had happened and they told me that the guy was on prescription drugs. I
yeah.
found a photo in his wallet of him and his son. The boy looked just like me, so we assumed he thought I was him. I later learned that he had lost his son in a custody battle and went off the rails. He was taken away for treatment, and that was the last I saw of him. I got my driver's license shortly after, and have never been on a bus since.
You see, thankfully, nothing like that has happened, like, to me, thankfully. There's been every now and then, like, a weird person, obviously, but, not to the point where it's, like, they're like this, you know? Like they'll probably ask me like a weird question or something, or they'll start talking to me like they've known me for years. I'd be sitting there looking like I'd be nodding like like, bitch, why the fuck you talking? Okay, see, I'm a nice person though, so I let them talk to me. But I don't give a damn what they saying. Is that mean? No, because I don't think it's mean, because they don't be like hi, you know, like how are you, whatever. But it's like they just start talking like they know me for years. Like we're friends. Like I know your social security number. Like I don't know you. You don't know me. I barely look at you. I'm sorry. Like low key on buses and stuff. I don't look at people. I'm sorry. I don't. I tend to look at my phone or like look at the window. That's it. I don't look around at people. I don't stare at people. No. Obviously, I'm aware of my surroundings, you know, so I glance every now and then, but I don't just look, you know. My head is always down the phone or I look at the window. I'm that type of like bus passenger, you know. You know, these actually these Llama Art stories, they're interesting. It's like they're bringing like sort of each after each one, and even like during it, it makes me want to tell like a story time. You know, let's just watch the next one, the last one for today. All right, this one is a hide and seek horror story. This is my childhood. You know, like I love play hide and seek. You know, like it was one of the best games to play, especially, you know, I don't know, especially
When I
a
was
lot,
a
like a lot of
kid,
people.
My parents would sometimes bring me down to my aunt and uncle's place to stay for the weekend. Mainly, I'd spend time playing with my two cousins who were around the same age as me. They lived on a small farm with plenty of open space, and
Oh shit! I remember watching this one. I don't remember the ending. Actually, I don't remember this one at all. But I remember it got creepy real quick. I can't for the life of me like remember the ending, but I remember I was so shocked. I actually don't even want to watch this no more. I'm not gonna lie. I think the ending like kind of like turned me off. I was like, what the fuck is this? Oh, do I continue? That's the question. Do I continue? You know what? Sure.
run around doing pretty much whatever we wanted. If we thought we could get away with it, the three of us would sometimes cross over to the neighboring farm about half a mile away. It
No.
had been abandoned for decades, with a scattering of derelict buildings and other structures still standing on the property, just begging to be explored.
Would I do that?
This was of course a gold mine for three adventurous young boys such as ourselves.
I wouldn't pitch it,
Especially after my
but
cousins
if I'm
told me
told to
stories
go,
about
I'll
the
probably
deaths that
would
took
go
place
just to
in the
watch.
house.
Make sure
It was
everybody
pretty
okay.
classic fare. Man goes crazy,
Oh.
axe murders his entire family, hangs himself, returns every night as an angry spirit looking for new victims. Good, grisly stuff.
And y'all wanna go to there?
Even at that age, I knew they were probably making it up, or at least embellishing old rumors. But seeing as how the setting lent itself so well to such tales, I allowed myself to buy into it.
Well, every main character looked the
One
same.
afternoon, we decided to play hide and seek. When it was my turn to hide, I ran off for a flimsy brown barn that had living quarters on top, and climbed the stairs looking for a good spot.
Yeah,
There
I'd be
was still
smart. I
furniture
have
inside,
an
and
outside.
personal
I'll
belongings
run in there, but
scattered
run straight
across
back
the
out
floor.
to make it seem like I'm in there.
I maneuvered over broken dishes, tattered clothes, and crumbling books, eventually coming to a small room with a closet. Jackpot. There were even long black dresses still hanging on the rod that I could hide behind. I stepped inside and managed to force shut the folding door.
You crazy. Check it first.
My only illumination was a slit of sunlight that shone through the crack in the door from a nearby window.
I'm
I
scared.
crouched down with knees tucked into chest and waited. Some time passed and there was still no sign of my seekers.
Wait, oh, I think I remember the
waited some
ending
more,
now. I think I
debating if and
do.
when I should give myself up.
I think I do.
After nearly an hour, this was starting to get boring. My head drooped. I awoke with a jerk. It was pitch black.
No.
Drowsy and
Y'all, I think I remember the end. I'm sorry for keep pausing that. I think I remember the ending. And I remember that this pissed me off. It was so wild. This isn't a true story. I'm gonna say this. If all these true stories, this one is not. It can't be. No, it cannot be. If it was, it'd be way more like talked about. No, I think I remember exactly what happens, but I'm not going.
Confused.
I'm on the wait
I
to
forgot
see.
for a minute where I was or what I had been doing. As it came back to me, the realization that it was now nighttime and that I had been abandoned here filled me with sinking dread in the pit of my stomach. I tried to get up, but a sudden cramp in my calf kept me grounded. I squirmed about, waiting for it to pass, when I heard a door slamming shut downstairs, and instantly froze.
I'll jump out that window. I don't care how
One of my
old I am.
cousins? There was a brief period of silence, then footsteps at the bottom of the stairs. But not just footsteps, a thud too. After every other step. These weren't the footfalls of a child. They were slow, heavy, deliberate. I held my breath, praying they would go away. They did not.
I remember this.
The noises continued to ascend.
I don't remember exactly how it ended, but I think I know like the main plot point I had ended.
After another moment of silence, the walking resumed. This time along with a steady scraping sound, like something heavy being dragged across the floorboards. The footsteps made their way through the debris and wandered aimlessly through the various rooms. I thought I could smell something faintly putrid.
Yeah.
The constant scrape sent cold shivers coursing down my arms and back. My worst fears were realized when the steps reached the bedroom doorway. They got closer and closer and finally stopped directly in front of the closet door. I couldn't see a thing. After an agonizing pause, they continued on over to the other side of the room and out the doorway again.
It's a problem.
They faded away down the hallway. I waited for what seemed like an eternity. There were no more sounds now, and I was trying to build up enough courage to open the door and flee. 3 things happened simultaneously just then. I was bombarded with a smell I can only describe as fresh roadkill.
Oh my goodness.
I heard raspy breathing behind me in the dark closet, and I felt hot breath against the nape of my neck. That was enough for me to hurtle myself out from the confines of that nightmare space, relying on memory and scant moonlight to navigate through the darkened house. All the while, I heard footsteps chasing behind me, closing in with terrifying speed. It was a clumsy, torturous escape full of trips and bumps and blind stumbling. I never looked back. At least, not until I had burst out the front door and into the country night. And when I did turn around, I saw absolutely nothing. There were no more footsteps and nobody was chasing me. That didn't stop me from running, though, all the way back to my aunt and uncle's house. There was a police car in the driveway when I got back. My parents were there too, worried sick. Everybody demanded to know where I had been. Apparently, when my cousins still hadn't found me by evening, they'd returned home to tell their parents.
They was not
Eventually,
looking
the
that
police
good
were
enough.
called in and informed me that they had already scoured every building on the farm. The insinuation that I was lying about my whereabouts didn't go unnoticed. None of it made any sense. It wasn't until years later that one of my cousins filled in a final piece of the story. He and his brothers had spent hours searching for me like they said, but the part they didn't tell anyone was that they thought they spotted me in the window of the bedroom I was hiding in. And when they got closer, they saw that it wasn't me. A young boy neither of them recognized was smiling and waving down at them and gesturing for them to come upstairs. That's when they ran back home. All of this while I slept in the closet.
Oh, okay. So I was wrong. I was wrong. I mean, okay, so I knew it ended like that. But okay, the version that I thought, like in my like in my memory, I thought that they never found the main character. And he was like a ghost now. And it was him that like he was stuck in that house. It's like it's like his soul was still in the house, basically. It was like something like that. I could have sworn that happened, but I guess not. It was like so I thought it was like that because the moment the main character woke up and it was like damn near nighttime, I was like, if the two cousins, if they didn't call the police at this point, or the family, whatever, didn't call the police, then what's happening here? You know, the police, if anything, like they should have still been at the barn with their car lights and all that, looking for me, or for the main character. I mean, so I thought that like when he woke up, it was like, you know, he was, you know, gone, and he was like a ghost now. I could have maybe that's like another like video, animated horror story that I watched, and I'm combining the two by accident. I don't know, but it was. I think this one's definitely more creepier. I think the version I thought it was. Thankfully, I guess I was wrong. But yeah, man, this had me going. I forgot how much I enjoyed these. I did. I forgot how much I enjoyed them. Like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll be back with more of these. So stay tuned. They can be random, you know. So stay safe, drink water, be a good person, and that's about it with today's video. Peace.